thing here is that all the things that Andrew's talked about aren't just for learners in the UK. And with the spread of low-cost mobile phone technology, open education can now reach health workers, teachers, humanitarian responders, volunteers, the people who are delivering frontline services in the places where they're needed the most. And even when there's no direct access to a mobile phone network, we can still load information and education resources onto a mobile phone. A huge number of people now have got mobile phones, like this lady here in Bangladesh, and she's using her mobile phone to teach English in the classroom. She's one of 51,000 teachers across Bangladesh who've received support in this way from the English in Action project delivered by Mott MacDonald and the Open University, which is working with the government of Bangladesh to reach 7 million learners. Pretty big, yeah. And already we've got evidence to show that children are learning much faster in these classrooms than elsewhere. So it's examples like this that makes us believe that open education offers the potential to revolutionise learning across the globe, providing a practical solution at scale to make sure that everybody can get access to a quality education regardless of where they live. So rather than me just talk, it would be quite good to hear from some of the people already making use of open education to do just that. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Millicent Akwa, who's a teacher in Ghana.
I am a teacher here who has benefited from using test materials written by the Open University at UK, and the aim is to achieve education for all. This is my test materials. It does make a big difference. Today I would like to talk about collection of data, so I'll go to measurement and data handling. When I look through TESA, there are so many interesting ways to teach pupils. There are some things that I have never tried out myself before, and then I integrate it in the preparation of my lesson notes and also in the delivery of my lessons.
Okay. So Ghana's a country like many others that's seen a rapid increase in the number of children attending schools. In parallel to that, a big concern about the quality of education in the classrooms. And for teachers, that's a massive challenge because they have to upgrade their skills and often their qualifications all at the same time. TESA, Teacher Education in Sub-Saharan Africa, is a project by the Open University that is intending to give teachers the support that they need to upgrade their skills while they stay in the classroom. It's a bank of resources developed by the Open University and a network of African universities available in 4 languages to give teachers the support that they need to deliver quality education to all. But the world also needs many more teachers, and the latest estimates from the UN are saying that we will need 25 million primary school teachers by the year, there'll be a missing 25 million primary school teachers by the year 2030. So there's an urgent need to look at ways in which we can recruit and train the teachers of the future in a much bigger scale than ever before. So the next person I'd like to introduce you to is Catherine Lahey. Okay. Catherine is a teaching assistant in Moyam district in the south of Sierra Leone. Catherine unfortunately was unable to complete her own education because both her parents died while she was still at school. But now, through an OU supported project, working together with Plan International, improving girls' learning outcomes, she gets the opportunity to get invaluable practical experience working in a classroom, supporting teachers, but at the same time she is studying on a 1-year distance learning degree course, teacher qualification course. That will allow her, at the end of that course, to enter teacher training college and become a teacher of the future. And she's one of 550 students on this course who by the end will dramatically increase the number of female teachers in the classrooms in Sierra Leone, which you know is so critical for motivating and inspiring girls to stay in school and to learn. And finally we'll go to India, and this is Dr. Lokesh Karai, who's a teacher trainer in Madhya Pradesh state, the 5th largest state in India, population of over 75 million people. I think India really does emphasise the need for massive responses to education. Lokesh is one of the 10,000 people who registered for the OU's massive open online course, a 6-week internet-based course, free to access and focused on how teacher educators could support teachers to use open educational resources in the classroom across India. He was one of 5,000 people to actually successfully complete the course, which is a really, really high success rate for a MOOC. And 90% of the participants were studying a MOOC for the very first time. So that shows just how the Open University is extending open education out globally. And he's part of an Open University project called Teacher Education Through School-Based Support, TESS India, which is supporting the Government of India to turn policy into classroom practice and raise standards of teaching and learning through the use of open education resources designed with and for teachers and teacher educators in 7 of India's 36 states. And maybe you can see here, but they're all available in different languages according to those 7 states. We're now going to be working with Save the Children India to try and take this work forward and to continue this work through the rest of India. Of course, education is a key component of all economic, social and environmental goals. And this includes achievement of all 17 of the Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as the Global Goals for Sustainable Development, as they are on this slide, which were agreed about a year ago by the 193 member states of the UN to provide a plan of action to ensure the well-being of people, planet and prosperity by 2030. That's a pretty big challenge, with many projections saying at the moment we are decades behind achieving many of these goals by 2030, with only 14 years to go. We believe that open education and the OU can play a much greater role in their achievement, not just in relation to education, but education being integral to achievement of all 17 goals. And we've committed to undertake this in a number of ways. The first thing that we will do is to make sure that the examples you've heard about before, the 3 people you've heard about before, there's more examples like that. We think we can extend the work that we've been doing across the globe to reach out to more teachers, more future teachers, teacher educators, to make sure they can benefit in the way we've heard about from Millicent, Catherine and Lokesh. We also think that we can use open education as a key tool to achieve other Sustainable Development Goals. In this case, Sustainable Development Goal 6, to ensure clean water and sanitation for all. So, for example, we work in Ethiopia with World Vision and UNICEF to make sure community workers can access the training that they need through open education to promote clean water, sanitation and hygiene practices throughout the country. And of course we can work with you to bring open education to speed up and scale up your work towards the achievement of the 17 different goals. An example of that would be the Humanitarian Leadership Academy, where we can bring open education to support them to train the humanitarian responders who are on the front line to be able to respond quickly to emergencies in their own communities rather than rely on foreign experts to fly in, which is a slow and expensive response. And finally, at a time when the world should be very open but can seem like it's closing in terms of barriers and mindsets, open education will be critical to build the skills, attitudes and behaviours needed for us to achieve the big ambition of a safe, poverty-free, prosperous and sustainable planet by 2030. With the scale and urgency of this challenge, we hope you've seen the role that open education can play to play a much greater part of the solution to those challenges.